are.
Look at that. We should stop. We should stop right now.
Yeah. This is the peak.
Everyone.
Good night. Red team wins.
Yes.
Yay!
Wait a minute. We can't end.
Casey's right. It's fixed. It's all fixed. Yeah. Okay. So hey, here we are. It's us doing this thing. That. Are you serious? We're back. We do this every Saturday for no reason at all. And we've got Dave, Lauren, Amy, Lourdes, Marisa, and hey, the ladies outnumber the men. Yay! Woo! About that. How about that? I guess it's the half-price drinks. So, so how are we doing, Dave?
Hey, so I'm doing great. This is the end of my first week out of 3 of an online conference that my organization's putting together. So this is my life all the time for the last week and for the next 2 weeks. So I'm excited.
Okay. Yeah, you look excited. Lauren, are you excited? You might be excited. No.
I bought rhubarb today.
Yay!
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't say yay because it's a lie. No, she probably actually did buy rhubarb today. You bought rhubarb.
I bought rhubarb and strawberries, and I'm going to figure out something to do with them.
I think strawberry rhubarb pie is in order. Yeah, how about a pie?
Right.
Yeah, those are good. I never understood rhubarb until somebody gave me a strawberry rhubarb pie, and then it's like, okay, I forgive rhubarb.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, apparently it is. It needs a help. It needs a friend. It needs a strawberry. Amy, how you doing?
I'm excited too.
About the rhubarb?
Oh yeah. About the pie. I love pie.
You would have been a cheap date. Hey, rhubarb! Okay, let's stay in tonight and rhubarb and Netflix. Lourdes, how are you?
Feeling good, man. Got vaccinated, fully vaccinated, and ready to rock.
Oh yeah, yeah. From obscene to vaccine. Nice. There you go. Yeah. Marisa, how art thou?
I'm excited to be here. Not gonna lie, little sleepy, and hopefully that doesn't mess me up. But I'm like honed in.
It hasn't messed me up yet, and I've been doing this every Saturday for the last 13 or 14 months. I don't go anywhere.
Feel better about it.
I don't miss Joe's. Daniel, how are you?
Good. I went to this cafe because they had this tea with cheese foam, and I was like, I gotta try that.
Was it good?
It might need some tweaking. The cheese was Swiss, so I'm just kidding. It was really good. It was really, really good. It's really, really good. It had boba. It had boba in it.
Really?
Oh, good.
Was it hot or cold?
It was cold. You could choose how much ice, how much. It was like very, you could customize. I'll send you a link so at least you can see the places.
Yeah. Yeah, throw in a little rhubarb. That's got to be good, right?
Right. What can I do with that?
Just like a stick of rhubarb in it, like a Bloody Mary, just to serve. Yeah. Okay, so are you serious? So how do we do this? Why I don't know, but how I do know. Each one of our panelists has shared with me and only me some little factoid about their life, something they've seen or done, or something that's happened to them. And I'm going to share one for each of them tonight. They don't know what, or I might substitute it with a piece of bullshit that I've made up. Either way, they're going to have to pretend that it's real and defend it, and whichever side guesses true or false correctly most often wins absolutely nothing, but gets to have the thrill of having won it. It's nothing, but they'll be able to show their friends the nothing that they've won.
Nice.
Very meta.
There you go.
Socialism.
As they used to say in the old days, here's a dime, go call all your friends. Yeah, that's old. That's where the phrase dropping a dime on somebody comes from,
Really?
In case you've forgotten that people used to put dimes in a phone to make phone calls. Okay, so we're going to drop a dime on this. What's that?
Nice.
Payphones have dimes? I've only known them to take quarters. Okay.
In the old days, it was a dime.
Oh.
A
And
quarter.
even before that, it was rhubarb.
Oh.
it was the barter system. Yes. It was. In those days, a quarter would buy you a condo. So in fact, they hadn't invented condos yet. Okay, so we choose captains for both teams, and so you go with whoever has the most at bats. Dave, you obviously haven't. So Lauren, that would be you.
Yep.
And Daniel, you are certainly our resident pro here.
I'll do it.
You'll do it.
I'll do it. Don't twist my arm.
I won't.
Go, Daniel.
Okay. So we always start off with whoever this is, and the teams are chosen randomly by who shows up on, and I'm always surprised that anybody shows up. Whenever I make a joke like that, I'll ring a bell. Okay, so Dave, we'll start with you if you are so minded. Would that be okay with you?
Man, I'm so ready. Let's do this.
Okay, read it out loud and weep. Here we go.
I once spent a rainy night in an outhouse in the middle of the woods. Yep, that's true.
Okay.
Yep.
Why?
So, why? Because, what's better to spend, if you're out in the middle of the woods, you don't have a tent or whatever. No, it was.
Tom, I think we're ready to vote.
No. No, so what happened?
You're in Florida. You're never ready to vote.
No,
Nice.
I don't want any fraud going on here. So it was a really rainy night, right? And I was in my tent, and the tent started leaking, and so water was coming down, and then it started coming up, and I was all by myself, and I was just I needed to get out of there. So there was a wooden outhouse in the middle of the woods out here. So I went in there and I just kind of hung out there. And
so there was a leak, and you took a leak in the outhouse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great place to do it.
Wait, you did sleep in there until morning?
No, I didn't sleep in there. So it was I don't know. It was probably because time was a little weird that night. So I would say it was probably 5 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't know. So I went in there and I just stared at the door. I just stood there and I waited, right? I don't know if I should add all these weird details, but at one point I looked over and there was a frog in the outhouse beside me, right? And so I had a light on my head, and I shined it over there and saw the frog, and it scared me so bad that I put I came back here, and then I started thinking, what happened to that frog?
Good thing you were in an outhouse when you got the piss scared out of you. Huh?
Right. So anyway, the weird part was I turned back and he was gone. So I don't know if the frog was there or he was dead. I don't know. So just weird.
Dead. Because if he's not there, he must be dead.
Right. If he's not in my world, he doesn't.
He must
exist.
be dead. But if he died, how did he get out?
Schrodinger's outhouse over there.
Schrodinger's frog. That's too good. That's too good.
Yeah. So.
So why did you go camping?
That's what I do. It's my life. I love to camp and hike and.
By yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like people that much.
Just him and his frog.
Yeah. So.
So have you seen the movie 27 Hours?
Yeah.
And he never camped again.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yes. Let's just say it's a disarming film.
Nice.
Yeah. Amy's laughing. Amy, have you got one of these at home? Have you got?
I wish I did.
So yeah, I don't know of any parks that have a wooden outhouse anymore.
Yeah.
Why was there one at that place you were at?
I don't know. The little campsite had it was just me out here, right? And it was a little campsite, and there was a little pond where I got my water, and there was an outhouse, and it was in Florida.
And it was like an open hole outhouse type of deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there wasn't a flush or anything.
This was.
You were encroaching on swamp people and just didn't know.
I was gonna say.
I don't know.
I mean, you sure this was in Florida? Where?
Yeah, it was by
In the background.
like Gainesville.
Oh, so that it could have been someone's home.
It could have
We're
been,
in Gainesville,
Yeah.
though, like Silver Springs, Foss Free, where
I don't know. Like
Lake
north
Alice.
like north of Gainesville. I don't know. Some old place. There were lots of trails and horses and.
Oh, okay, you get one more question, Blue Team, if you need it to decide whether it's.
I just
true.
want to say, you show up there and there's no swamp people, then you are the swamp people.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably not too far off.
Did you hear like a
Unfortunately,
What
no.
went wrong with the tent?
It's just an old tent. It was light, so I carried it. I have a new tent now, so
Oh,
it
okay.
doesn't
weird.
happen anymore. Yeah, so I
Because
knew you were
I was
worried.
concerned.
I
I was
knew you
worried.
were, nobody asked me if I was okay after this. I lived, but
How's the frog though? We don't know
Yeah,
about the
yeah.
frog.
I'm googling. I'm googling the frog right now.
yeah, I don't know about that.
Okay, I need a vote from the Blue Team. Is it true or is it false that Dave once spent a rainy night in an outhouse in the middle of the woods?
Because he's like wishy-washy on the facts, I really think it's true. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's good. That's good strategy.
In that case, Dave is never going to tell a lie for the rest of his life.
Right.
Come on, folks. Come on.
I'm not buying it. Like, it's a plausible concept, but it sounded off.
Did the frog ruin it? Was it the frog that ruined it?
It was a lot that ruined it.
Okay, so.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in the habit of like camping, you should anticipate wetness. Or where the frog went overall. Get used to disappearing frogs when you go camping.
Yeah, because anyone who lives in a modern home and leaves it to sleep under a piece of canvas in the middle of the night has got to have high intelligence. So camping is what you do when your house burns down.
You have means. Everyone else just calls it homeless.
So what do you say?
I'm gonna go with my team. And we're gonna say it is false.
Yeah. Your team says it's false. Well, it's true.
Good job, Dave.
Yes.
Never doubt Daniel. Never doubt Daniel.
Oh my
ever.
God.
I trusted you more. I'm sorry.
Wishy-washy facts.
Yeah. So it was like 6 inches of rain. My wife was texting me and saying, "You shouldn't be camping tonight because it's rain." I said, "I'm right in the middle of these two bands," and yeah, it was like 6 inches.
Yeah. So you got caught in the battle of the bands. Okay. Daniel, it's your turn now. It's 1-0. Yeah, no, it doesn't get a ding. Here's yours. Let me try. I got it. Oh, here we go.
Where? I once ran out of gas, got into another car to go get some gas, and ran out of gas.
Oh man.
Yep.
Where was this? 27.
Yeah, right. Do not want to run out of gas.
Oh no,
No, this was in Tampa when I was in university.
Mm.
Who did the other car belong to?
One of my buddies from the dorms. So, and much like Highway 27, it all started because we went for a long drive to go smoke.
Oh.
We didn't want to do it on campus because people had gotten busted. So we would just take long drives and not park and smoke. We would smoke while we drove.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, but in my day that was just called Thursday.
How did you get from the car that ran out of gas to the other car?
So the other car came and got us, right? We realized we were running out of gas. We pulled over. We were able to call somebody. He came to us. and we got into his car to go figure out. We were stoned as hell to figure out the situation, and that guy was an idiot too. So,
So then what happened?
so by that time,
he never got back.
yeah, by that time we were close enough where we walked about 2 miles and got to a gas station, and luckily they had those like red canister things.
Mhm.
And so we just, we weren't going to call a third person. We were
Mhm.
it's ridiculous.
Okay.
How did you know where the gas station was?
So we knew the area pretty well. So the main reason being, we would take that pathway, we would take that road to go smoke quite often. That was often a spot where we were stoned enough to stop and get snacks.
So when you got gas, did you go back to the first car? And then what? Walk us
No.
through the whole thing.
No, we
Well, he'll
went.
have to walk
we-
you through because driving doesn't seem to be.
Listen, yeah. Stoned out of your mind, you're carrying gas. What's next?
No, the second car was the closest one. So we walked back to that one, right? Then we took it to the gas station, we filled it up, and then we were taken back to the first car. And I wasn't the driver, I didn't have a license at the time. We just dropped off that driver to handle it himself from there.
This
Wow.
sounds like that logical reasoning puzzle with the farmer and the chicken and the fox.
If we left the station going 20 miles an hour,
The 2 joints.
What time did the rooster fly over Chicago?
driving that train high on cocaine, Casey Jones was.
You better watch your speed. Okay.
So you just let this dude? The first you were driving with him.
He was sick of us by that point. Anyway, so it was okay. He was okay with it. He was all right. We never saw him again. But
How many people never saw like the frog? So how many were there? How many people were involved in this shenanigans?
so the original car was 4 of us, and the guy who came to get us was just alone. He was by himself.
Okay.
What kind of car was it?
Oh, geez, I have no idea. This is that long ago. This was. I'm gonna give my age away, but this would have been 2002, 2001,
Yeah.
maybe.
Boy, you're really old.
And you guys
So-
had cell phones back then?
If we did, they were like Nokia. You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
weren't.
How'd this guy in the second car find you, or how do you know?
Well, he would go on those adventures with us too. So we told him, "Hey, go down." I don't remember the name of the road, but I remember it would take us to Lettuce Lake Park. I remember in my
Lettuce
brain
Lake.
how to leave the university and get in that direction, and we
Yeah.
would just drive as far as we could down, smoke, and then turn around and drive back. So he knew, okay, just head that way, and you'll see a bunch of idiots stuck on the side.
Right.
Okay,
Sure.
Red Team, you get one more question.
So
One more
okay,
question.
so then why didn't he just go with you?
He wasn't.
Why
He
was
wasn't.
he left behind only to join you later when you were in deep trouble?
Dude, you want to share your stuff with as many people as possible, or do you want to just go smoke some weed with the people who chipped in? We weren't gonna throw a fifth in on that day, I'm sure. That's my guess, right? Because I don't fully, you know what I mean?
Okay, I need an answer now. Is it true or false that
False.
Daniel once ran out of gas, Captain Carter getting
Totally
some more
false.
gas, and ran out of gas in that car too?
It's wrong. It's false. He's too shady on the details. The second, he doesn't seem to have a plan on how the second car got here. It may have been a Nokia phone. This guy drives the same. I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
Amy, what do you think?
I don't know. I buy it, but that's kind of what I do. Dave says no, I say yes. And it's up to you.
Yeah.
Amy, you
That's
vote
you.
against whatever the vote is. Let's be honest.
Yeah. I'm so good at this game. I win all the time.
So, what's the answer?
I don't know. It sounds like something that could happen.
What's the answer?
I think I'm going to go with Dave. I think it's a lie. This sounds like something Tom would have written.
It sounds like something Tom would have written. You say it's a lie. Well, it is a lie.
Sweet Danielle.
It's not something I've written. It's something that happened to me. So.
That's why it sounded familiar.
I ran out of gas and walked all the way home and told my father. He said, "Oh, damn it, let's come on, let's go." And he got in his car, and we ran out of gas going to. And we just looked at each other like, "Boy, are we in the same DNA?" Yeah, definitely. Okay, so it's possible.
The Yugo doesn't break down too far from the tree, huh?
It wasn't a Yugo. I can guarantee it was not a Yugo. No, it was a Plymouth Fury. So that seems to be the case.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're in trouble. We're in trouble, guys.
We move up to Lauren now. Lauren, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
I spent 2 nights in a haunted house.
Did you find the frog?
Ding, 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 ding.
Spent 2 nights in a haunted outhouse. I should have put it.
Okay, first question is why?
I didn't realize that it was haunted. It was actually an Airbnb in Cambridge, in a very old house. And I was told by the woman there that, like, if you hear some weird sounds, like, don't worry about it. There have been rumors that the place is haunted, but, like, it's cool. Just, consider it part of the character of a house that was built in the mid-1600s.
So why did you stay after hearing that?
Because it was in May and it was graduation week and there was no other place that I could get a room, and I had a great rate, and it was near Central Square where I was performing with IB, and so it was easy to get to stuff.
Would it even bother you if someone told you that a house you were in was haunted?
I was actually kind of incredulous about it. I'm like, oh, really? Cool. Like, tell me, is there any story of, like, who these people may have been or what happened? And yeah, I mean, because I watch Ghost Hunters and, like, all the paranormal stuff, and so, like, I thought it was pretty cool.
Okay.
Did you hear any odd noises while you were there?
Sadly, no. I was, like, listening for creaks and stuff, and then realized it was just somebody going up the stairs, and I was really disappointed.
She heard him. She heard and turned out there was a frog tied up and gagged in the closet. Any other questions? Because it's a good one.
You stayed at an Airbnb for fun, or was there was a specific reason for it?
Oh, no, it was after I moved to Florida, and I went back to visit friends in Boston.
Oh,
and so I was staying at an Airbnb in Cambridge to be close to downtown and IB.
Okay.
Why'd you go during graduation week?
Because there were a lot of shows, and there was a show that I was invited to be a guest in. It was, it was Mike Cox's. It's called, it's like solo performances of group games called All on My Own. And so I did one-person line games for 5 minutes.
That sounds very on brand.
Yeah, I've been thinking of staging one-person shows just so we can outnumber the audience.
Yeah.
I want to call up there and see if Mike Cox is there.
Yeah.
Sounds like a name you write down when there's a substitute teacher.
Lourdes has met him, so she knows. You came in with a line game therapy.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
That Cox. Okay. Any more questions?
What did the house look like? What did this place look like?
It was an old 2-story house, wood. It was yellow. I don't remember much else about it. It had like an old kind of like wooden creaky banister. Well, the steps were creaky, and then it had like a wood banister. And yeah, it had some old photos. It was cute.
I'll give you one more question, Blue Team. You need it?
So what was the story behind the ghost then?
Huh.
There really wasn't one. It was just more like she'd heard from people who were staying there that there were weird noises, and that just given the age of the house, like it could be haunted. And so she said, like, if you see anything or hear anything, like, let me know. I'm like, has anyone seen or heard anything? She's like, well, there have been some weird sounds and, some kind of foggy looking things that people have reported, but like there isn't really a known backstory to like anyone who died in the house or anything. It's just sort of, you kind of take for granted with houses that are that old that something happened at some time.
Okay. I need an answer now. I need a vote. Is it true or false?
Well, I've been watching this show for a very long time. And there's one thing I've learned from it is that Lauren is very good at lying. But I find this very plausible nonetheless. So I'm kind of leaning true.
Okay.
I find it very plausible as well.
You might be right. I think that Lauren would get the hell out of there if she heard that there was a ghost. And she'd be like, I'm not standing another minute here.
So what are you going to say?
I'm going to go with my team.
You're going to go with
my
your team.
We're going to say that it is, you guys want it to be true? Is that what you said?
Nod your heads.
We're going to find out. We're going to find out.
Okay. You say true.
Out.
You are. It's a lie.
Oh, no. I'm not voting with you guys ever again.
Hey, Captain, what's our course? I don't know. I'll ask the crew. Whatever they say is fine with me. Waiter, another bottle of wine.
That's amazing. Good job, Lauren.
Oh my goodness, this is turning into a
Lauren, am I right though? If you were in that situation, you would get the hell out of there?
It depends if I knew what the story was. If it was just sort of like a generic thing or, a child or something, I'd be kind of cool with it. But if someone was like murdered in the house, then I wouldn't want to stay.
No. No, I'd leave the house I would leave the house if the house behind it was haunted with live children.
Yeah.
Okay.
Out of there.
All right. So we moved to Marisa. Marisa.
Like if it was the old farmhands that ran the place in the 1600s who were just kind of like around and they're friendly, then like that would be kind of cool.
Yeah. And that sickle is still missing.
Yeah. But Boston ghosts are like wicked pissa, and I'm like, ugh, get me out of here. This sucks.
We're going down to Revere. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Marisa, it's on you now. Ready? You can break this thing wide open. You can break it open like a waterlogged frog. Here you go.
I hunted an octopus.
Okay.
All right.
What?
Now we need to hear more about this story.
Was it in an outhouse?
Yeah.
It was not in an outhouse.
Where was this?
This was in a warehouse, different kind of house.
A warehouse.
What?
I worked at a company that sold saltwater fish for aquariums. And so we would occasionally get rarer things like an octopus. But we had all sorts of stuff: sharks and stingrays, pufferfish, starfish, eels, all that jazz.
So what do you mean by hunted?
Yeah.
It escaped.
They're very intelligent creatures.
Yeah.
Oh, they're smart.
Yeah.
They're smart.
So like you got a whole row of tanks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And an octopus being very smart, we need to keep it secure. But you also can't lock it away in like a solid jar because it needs circulation and stuff in the water. It's going to run out of nutrients and oxygen.
And then eight times as legs, 8 times as fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, we have to put him in it was like a big plastic jar. I swear it was like something somebody had for their cheese puffs or whatever. But they drilled holes all through it for good water flow. But an octopus, the only part of their body that isn't like squishy is their beak. So anything that their beak can fit through, the rest of them can fit through. And this octopus was too small for what he was put in. So the octopus went missing. And at first it's like, well, he could literally go anywhere. But then other animals in the aquarium started going missing. Or we would find like half of an animal because it was eating them.
So he was leaving
So the octopus could like lift the lids off of other tanks and grab things?
No,
How
the tanks were open tops.
Get to eat the other creatures.
So it's a row of tanks of like 1, 2, 3, 4, and the tops across are all open. The octopus was the only one that was secured. Well, wasn't, but in the jar. Everything else is open because it can't really get out.
Yeah.
Occasionally, you get like a starfish or a snail on the edge of something,
But also, you knew it was him because he left the calling card.
yeah, even the body
was the
parts
wet
and
bandits.
eating other creatures was rough. So we had this predator basically just going and slaughtering our other animals in the night, because it was always like overnight too. We'd come back the next day and just look at the carnage.
So wait a minute, but an octopus can't live on land. So was it like sneaking out and then sneaking back in?
It can crawl over out of the water for a short period of time, and in this case, with the way the tanks were set up, it really probably would have been less than a minute for it going from one tank to the next.
So did you call the police and did the detectives come and dust everything for sucker prints?
Well, what happened was the person who was supposed to receive the octopus kept calling. I was not at the time doing much work in the warehouse end. I was doing like office stuff and still learning a lot about the fish. I'd say this was kind of a turning point. And so I was getting sick of this guy calling and yelling at me. And like we explained the situation. He was, you know how some people are. So one morning I came in early and I got a jar that I was like sure would be safe enough. And I looked around at the different tanks to kind of try and gauge where it might be, and I narrowed it down based on a nearby torn up blue lobster. But the thing with octopus, if you're looking for them, they can camouflage. So I'm looking at this tank for any sign of movement I can get because it's so blended in, and everything in this particular section was just brown. So it's just like I barely blinked. I'm just staring at this tank for like I think it must have been 20 something, maybe 30 minutes, and finally I see this eye look at me. And it is off of a rock that's like about the size of my fist. And so what I did is I scooped up the rock really quick before the octopus could separate from it. But then I couldn't leave the rock in there because if anything turned with the thing, it could hurt the octopus. And I didn't want to do that. But I also didn't want to get my hand bit by its beak.
He was a murderer. Rip the rock away and shove him in his cage.
I didn't want to get bit.
So the dude who was calling you over and over again, like, what was his intent for the octopus? Was this like a pet? Was this like, was this guy a restaurant owner? Like, what was the fate planned for this octopus?
Italian food.
This guy, it was going to be a pet.
Okay.
But he killed the thing when it arrived by not acclimating it properly. And so then he got mad at us and he's like, I want a replacement octopus. And we're like, no, we're just refunding you. No, we're not taking another octopus order from you because it's a damn nightmare.
The only reason that octopus was sitting on its perch in the first place was that it had been nailed there. This is an ex-octopus. Sorry, if you're not a Monty Python fan,
So
you understand why that. Okay, that's it. No more questions.
Okay.
Oh,
We have one question per tentacle. So, is it true or is it false? Where am I? No, that's not the one. This is the one. Yeah, is it true or is it false that Marisa hunted an octopus?
Man, I want this to be false because that would have been a great story for her to make up. But I'm going to go with this is true.
Me too. I think it's
She
true.
had too many things. I still kind of question the ability of an octopus to escape from a cage and all that crap. But
yeah, but that's just a minor detail.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I'm a little iffy on the term hunted. Like she hunted for an octopus, but not like, all right, octopus. Hunted. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the team. We'll say it's true.
Okay, you say it's true. Wait, hang on, I gotta push buttons. Well, it turns out it is true. Oh yeah!
Oh, game over. There's no turning back.
It looks like the blue team's run out of gas.
No, yeah.
Nice.
Send Daniel for it.
How crustacean of you.
Okay. We move up to Amy to see if she can help.
I'll probably blow it. It's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're working on it. We're working on a sweep. Here's Amy's.
All right. I once let a bird out of a cage and it flew into an overhead fan.
It wasn't actually an overhead fan. It was an octopus on the ceiling disguising itself as an overhead fan. Any thoughts?
Whose bird was it?
So it was my grandma's. My mom's mom bred parakeets.
Oh.
I
Why?
was a kid. I didn't know. I wanted to set it free.
That's funny. My mom's mom breaded chickens.
So this one was pretty much battered.
Just thinking about this. So you guys
Up high, Tom. Up high.
I'm shaking because I still have PTSD from this moment, and I still feel terrible for killing a bird.
Okay.
Sorry. Yes, it did not survive, by the way.
Shame.
What else do you remember? Oh, sorry, Lourdes. Go ahead.
Sorry, what was the plumage of that parakeet? Was it green, blue, white, gray?
Mostly red at the end.
It was blue. It was so beautiful. And I just love, so she would always pick a couple to bring in the house when my sister and I visited. Because she had like, it wasn't like a garage. It was like an outhouse in the woods. Just kidding. It was like, she bred them in cages. And so she would bring a couple in the house for my sister, for us to play with, or not really play with, but I opened the cage because it was my goal to set them all free because I've always been an animal lover. And I mean, I killed it. I didn't realize the fan was on. I didn't know it could fly that well and that quickly. Because she clipped the wings. I knew she clipped the wings, so I didn't think it would go that far. No. So
how old were you?
I was like 5 or 6. So, I can't handle any birds. My friends have pet birds, and I still have PTSD when I see them. I don't want to go near them.
Is that why you decided against a career in aircraft maintenance?
Oh God. I still can see every moment so vividly in my head.
Oh, goodness.
Polly won an emotional scar?
Yep. And my wife, the only tattoo she has, birds on a branch. It's beautiful. Her tattoo is beautiful. But yeah, of course. She has a bird tattoo, a freaking bird tattoo, and they look like they could be parakeets.
How did your grandma react when you murdered the bird?
So I was screaming and crying, and I was inconsolable. So I didn't actually ever, like, she wasn't ever upset with me. She just tried to calm me down because I was freaking out. Like I was like, when you are a kid and you start crying, you can't even breathe. It was terrible. It was a disaster. I had to run out of the house. I couldn't clean up.
Oh yeah, poor you. You're the victim.
So
I was just an innocent kid trying to set free.
Maybe it could have been worse. It could have been a parrot, and it could have been yelling like, "What the hell did you do to me?"
Oh my God.
Amy did it. Right, Amy did it.
I'm having nightmares tonight. I'm gonna have nightmares.
So Amy, walk us through this in detail. So you definitely do have a nightmare. You open the door of the cage, it flies out straight into the fan?
Straight into the fan. So my sister and I were allowed to have them on our fingers and stuff, and usually there were adults around, but I don't remember any adults in the room. And so I thought it was my chance to let this thing live and go live a happy life in the forest somewhere. And so this was my plot, to just open it really quickly and let it go out. And I must have scared it because I was frantic to, no adults were around. So I opened the cage and I just remember feathers and screaming, and it was terrible. And I screamed bloody murder. Like, I think my parents might have thought we were getting kidnapped or something. Everyone came running into the room.
What were what were its last words?
Oh God. I don't know.
I saw a ceiling fan. I did.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm sorry.
Is that what it sounds like when doves cry?
Okay. One more question. Blue.
Oh my God,
you lying?
I'm crying. I have tears. Not okay.
One more question, Blue Team. Do you need a question or? Apparently not.
They're judging me.
Okay.
How you guys feeling about this one?
Okay, vote.
Whatever
It
you're
doesn't
feeling,
matter how
Daniel.
you're feeling. How are you feeling?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
I want to hear what you guys. I want to hear what you think.
So you can go with the opposite.
No, I just want to know.
Because I'm buying it, but I also just have this innate trust for Amy.
So did the bird.
Right.
What happened to that? Yeah.
Well, some of the facts of the story, if you were 4 or 5, you just wouldn't know. Only if they told you the story several times. And then there were some points that kind of changed in the story, and it made me think oh, okay. I don't know about this one. I don't know.
I'm just thinking it goes right there in the fan.
Oh.
What are we
I
gonna
need
do,
an
guys?
answer.
What are we gonna do?
People have rented this room at 10 o'clock, so I need to.
All right, Daniel, we're just going with what you're saying because I feel like, if it was a parakeet, they probably zip zam.
Well, we have nothing left to lose. Nothing left to lose.
I think it's true, so you should go false.
Okay, we're going false. Let's see.
You're going false. Oh, okay. Well, it turns out that it is false. It is a lie.
Yay!
You got
Everybody's
something.
got a system.
Amy, you are a really good actress, though. I think there was so much emotion you put into this one.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm just happy it was a lie.
You got me good,
I'm so
Amy.
glad that never happened. I would not be here today if that had happened.
Yeah.
Where would you be?
I would have played in traffic, I'm sure.
I do know someone that did happen to. Well, it didn't happen to them. It happened to the bird, but I do know someone that's true for. But we won't go into it. It wasn't me, but
I'll probably still have nightmares though.
I wouldn't let
I
him.
think that the blades aren't really sharp enough. That if anything, it would have just kind of backed the bird across the room or something, and maybe stunned it as it hit the wall, but wouldn't cut it up.
Yeah, well,
I mean, maybe if you sharpen the blades of the ceiling fan for extra fun and giggles, but
I've seen it, so it can happen. But in the old days, the fans used to be made out of metal, so yeah, they stopped doing that.
I got a
okay.
hankering for chicken wings now.
Too many birds.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see if where we wind up. Lourdes, are you ready?
Yes.
This one's yours.
I met Dwayne Wade, but I had no idea who he was.
Okay, where? Where did you meet him?
So I was doing an internship, aka doing housekeeping at the Disney Resort in Orlando. And one morning, one of my friends goes, "Hey, Dwayne Wade's here, and he's in the gym." I'm like, "Is he a rapper?"
Is
But
he?
I didn't know.
He's a basketball player.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't know that. You know, I'm pretty old, and like I was just like whatever. And then like they're like, "Oh yeah, you got to take care of his room." And then like concierge comes, is like, "Here, take care of this." And I was like, "Okay," but everybody's all nervous. I'm like, I've never heard of this guy, but okay. So, did his laundry, fluffed his bed and stuff and made eye contact. I'm like, oh, he's pretty tall.
Did he have any special requests?
He was pretty low maintenance. Basically, if you ever gone to like the Disney Resort, there's like the boardwalk, and it's separated by the common folk, and then there's like high class stuff where like the beds are larger than rooms and stuff. So I picked up his laundry, and everybody was nervous, and I was like, all right, cool it. He just makes rap songs, whatever. And I brought it back, and like he was coming out of his room with like a huge entourage. Everybody's like, it was like a whole group of people. I'm like, wow. And he was like really tall, and his mom was there, I guess, and some other people, and we made eye contact and we nodded with each other. We're like, yeah, yeah. And I just dropped off his laundry. So
Is his mom also really tall?
no, it's like half his size or something. It was just like, yeah. And he didn't say any words. And she's like, it's like whole family. It's just like very humble guy.
Were there any kids?
I didn't see any kids. This is probably like 2005, no, 2006-ish, 2007-ish. I don't know if he had kids back then.
Do you think he would have stayed at that hotel if you told him it was haunted in the beginning?
I think he probably would have. I mean, the haunted mansion is not 2 steps away, so why not? So
very
or
true.
if there was an escaped octopus on the loose. Could you imagine putting up little posters on trees with a picture of, have you seen?
20,000 Leagues used to be there. So
I have a question. So was he in Space Jam? And if not, does he feel bad that he wasn't in Space Jam?
I think he's very grateful he's not in Space Jam, just to be honest.
There's a new Space Jam.
Exactly.
Space Jam. He might be in it.
Yeah.
As someone who didn't know who he was, she speaks for him and says that no. I'm Dwayne Wade's spokesperson. I don't know what he does, but you had something.
So he wasn't there with the basketball team. He was just there with his family.
Yeah, he was there with his family. I think it was just taking it easy. Yeah, I didn't see like any other team members. Otherwise, they would have exceeded like 6 feet. But he was the only tall guy that I saw in that entourage.
He didn't get hit in the head with a ceiling fan, did he?
No,
That's all.
He was walking slow motion, like dun dun dun, like with
Like,
entourage.
was there an explosion in the background as he slowly walked away?
No, he had to pay extra for that. So
Okay.
no.
What year was this?
It was like 2007-ish.
Okay. Was Spike Lee sitting anywhere near him, shouting?
If he was, I couldn't see him. He's too short.
It's got to be the shoes.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Was he the nerdy guy from a different world?
That's Dwayne Wade. Yeah, it's basically that's Dwayne Wayne. Dwayne Wayne. There you go. Even I messed it up. He had the flip shades. Remember?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Heat won like 3 championships in a row or something at a
The guy with the flip?
What sport?
and Dwayne basketball. Miami Heat. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm gonna send an octopus after you. And he was like the Scottie Pippen of that team.
Okay. So okay. If there are no more questions, I will have the red team vote whether it's true or not.
So I'm a little skeptical about this whole thing because I always am. But that was 14 years ago. As Dwayne Wade, that would be a long basketball career for him to be playing that long. And I don't think a college player would have merited this kind of attention.
Maybe that's why she didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
He has played for a very long time.
Yeah, I think he's been around for long enough.
I think he's
14
retired now. Though.
years.
He's retired now, though.
He moved
Yeah.
teams.
Oh, I didn't know people moved to Queens.
No, not queens. Teams.
Oh, I thought you said he moved to Queens. That's much better because, like, who moves to Queens?
People from Coney Island.
Nice.
It's an upgrade.
The Princess Zamunda does.
We're moving on up. So what's your answer?
I'm voting no. I'm voting
Okay.
lie.
Oh, yes, I think it's true. It could happen. It sounds believable.
Lourdes did an internship where
I'm
she
putting
ended up doing something with the Black Eyed Peas. So I think this is true.
I'm putting you two together because
we had another celebrity who she didn't know who they were.
you cancel each other out. So I'm putting you right next.
Yes.
Totally.
Okay. So you say. So what are you saying, Lauren?
I'm gonna say true because I still don't know who he is. So
Trust the lesbian. He's a basketball player.
You're gonna say true. It is true, and I don't know who he is either. So there we go.
Man.
I couldn't have written that because
I just wanted him to get a point.
Don't care.
They did from the bird and the fan.
Oh wow! So I could be wrong. I'm not sure, but I think the red team wins this one. Yeah. Amy, how many times have you won?
I think this is just the second time.
Out of how many?
At least half a dozen.
Half a dozen? You were here half a dozen times?
Pretty sure.
God. Okay, I don't know. So it's only the second time. Oh, okay.
Man,
Yeah,
if wins were rhubarb, you can make one phone call.
you can put it in a dive and call it a dog.
I'm gonna drop a rhbarb on the octopus. Okay, so red team wins, and there's no dispute in that one. Well, first of all, thank you guys for being here tonight. Lauren, Lourdes, Daniel, Amy, Marisa, and Dave. There we are.
Nice. I
good
like
to see
that.
To you. So we do stuff every week, and most nights of the week. On Fridays, what do we do? We do Read My Lips here every Friday. Last night was fun. It was what was
Godzilla.
it? Godzilla and something else that I couldn't pronounce, and Godzilla with spaceships and time machines. It was very funny. And of course, we do this every Saturday. On Mondays, we do shitty improv, 7:30 p.m. 35 minutes of absolute shitty fun. It's really fun. And then tomorrow, and every Sunday, we do. The Dawn Patrol is here, and we do Crash with Us at 5 p.m. Sketch stuff and some bits. It's always hilarious. We got some good stuff planned for that. And we are we're looking very, very likely to be opening the theater again the first week of July.
Nice.
And
Yay.
we will be signing anybody up for classes. Classes will start probably before that. Probably a couple of weeks before that. So in a few weeks, classes will start. Keep an eye out, and we will have information about that. We are, as of next week, upgrading the AC there.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. Cool hard cash wouldn't hurt to help us do that. And so in that regard, we have where's the thing? Do I have a thing? I have a thing for everything, but I don't have one for that for some reason.
Fundraiser.
Oh, that yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
July like a dog. We're looking to open in July, and if you can send us some of your hard-earned cash, we will waste it. Absolutely. Oh, you'll waste it yourself, but we can do a better job of wasting your cash, and we'll do that. Just check out doghousetheater.com. It's right there. Just click on that and give us. Just put as many zeros as you can. Zeros. It's nothing. So
Starting with zero. The zeros come at the end.
No. That's for stand-up comedy. Okay, so thank you very much, Lauren, Dave, Amy, Lourdes, Marisa, Danielle. We've had fun, and as we always do. Thanks for being here. Any quick parting words from anybody? Nothing? No,
I gotta go catch an octopus.
See you in July.
The word of the day is loquacious.
Loquacious.
I'm going to say bisection. because that is a parting word.
Oh, that's wow.
Ding, 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 ding.
Hard to end on that.
Loquacious. Doesn't he play for the Clippers? No, I don't know.
No, that's
He
Dwayne
stayed
Wade.
it. Yes.
Okay, see you guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching.
Hi, everybody.
Bye.